They finally did it again. The Pentagon just dropped a huge bombshell for Palantir. Around $10 billion are on the line. In less than 24 hours, everything will change. And these are what Palantir needs to reach $1 trillion. What is happening? And why should you look out for this? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. Palantir is really showing who's boss in the AI stock world today. While everything else in the market is getting dragged down, Palantir just refuses to go down with it. It's climbing and it's not even hesitating. It's like the market said, let's panic, and Palantir went, nah, I'm good. But here's the crazy part. Just as people were watching the chart with their jaws on the floor, the Pentagon came out and dropped a bombshell. They basically said there's a massive deal in the works, and all signs are pointing to Palantir being right in the middle of it. That's huge. This isn't just hype. It's the kind of announcement that gets Wall Street buzzing and retail investors scrambling. Now here's where it gets wild. Because while all this excitement is taking over social media, the smart money seems to already know what's up. Institutional investors? They're moving. Insiders? They're not sitting still either. It's like everyone behind the curtain is quietly stacking up, positioning themselves right before what could be a game changer. And partnerships? They're popping up left and right. It's as if every company with a serious future wants a piece of Palantir. The demand is there, the confidence is real, and in less than 24 hours, something major is expected to drop. If that announcement goes through the way it's being hinted at, this could be the beginning of a major run. Some are even saying this could be the catalyst that starts Palantir's journey to becoming a $1 trillion stock. Yeah, that kind of level. And honestly, at the pace it's moving, it might not even feel like a stretch anymore. The momentum is building, and it's not just people hoping, it's people acting. The chart is speaking loud and clear. Now, before we jump even deeper into the implications of this upcoming deal, let's look at what's actually going on in the price chart today. Because it's not just noise. There's something real happening here. One analyst broke it down and said something that caught my attention. He pointed out that while most stocks were dipping, Palantir actually held its ground really well. Not just holding, but showing strength where others were falling apart. And that's key, because it means there's underlying confidence. According to him, this current move isn't random. It's all leading up to earnings, and that's when the direction will be crystal clear. But the way Palantir is setting up right now, it's sending bullish signals all over the place. Volume is building, the support levels are holding, and the pressure to break out is rising by the hour. If earnings hit, if the Pentagon deal drops, if this momentum keeps pushing, then we're not just talking about a good stock anymore. We're talking about a company that could define the AI space. So yeah, keep your eyes on Palantir, because something big is brewing, and it might be closer than we think. So what just happened? Palantir just pulled off one of the biggest moves in its history, and possibly one of the biggest we've ever seen in the AI defense space. The US Army just signed a deal with Palantir worth up to $10 billion. Not million, billion. This isn't a small tech pilot or a short-term trial. This is a decade-long, full-blown strategic partnership that puts Palantir front and center in the future of modern warfare. Here's the thing. This deal isn't just about selling some software licenses. It's about reshaping how the military operates in the age of AI. Instead of juggling 75 separate contracts like they've been doing, the Army is now streamlining everything under this one enterprise framework, with Palantir leading the way. That means more efficiency, faster deployment, and smarter operations powered by artificial intelligence. And it's not just about money, it's about positioning. This agreement gives the Army long-term flexibility to tap into whatever software and AI solutions they need, without the red tape, fees, and delays that usually come with government procurement. That's a huge win. It creates a pipeline where Palantir becomes the go-to partner for evolving defense needs, now and into the future. This move effectively makes Palantir the backbone of the Army's software and data infrastructure. That's like being the Google of defense tech. And once you're embedded at that level, once your systems are running mission-critical data, powering threat detection, intelligence, logistics, and command, there's no turning back. You're locked in. And think about this. Palantir has already delivered its first 2 AI-powered systems from a previous contract earlier this year. The Pentagon was clearly happy with the results, because now, not only did they renew, they just multiplied that partnership to an entirely new level. In May, the Department of Defense boosted another AI contract with Palantir, called the Maven Smart Systems contract, by nearly $1 billion. That's just more proof that the US government isn't testing the waters anymore. They've decided Palantir is the partner. And when the US government starts throwing numbers like these around, it's not a trend, it's a commitment. Now, why is this such a big deal for Palantir's stock? Because defense AI is not a short-term trend, it's the future. And Palantir is the first mover. They're not just offering tech, they're building an operating system for the modern battlefield. That's sticky. That's scalable. That's global. If the US Army is doing this, how long until NATO allies follow? How long until private defense contractors want access to the same systems? How long until Palantir's tools aren't just used in the battlefield, but in logistics, border security, infrastructure, health, and emergency response? This is how trillion-dollar companies are built, by becoming the backbone of a new era. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Palantir's CEO, Alex Karp, has always been vocal about protecting national interests through AI. He's not building this company to chase trends. He's building it to dominate a global market that's waking up to the reality of AI-powered security. And with this new contract, Palantir is not only building its moat, it's expanding it. They're locking in recurring government revenue for the next decade while growing their commercial business at the same time. That dual-engine approach is what makes Palantir different from other AI companies. Most AI stocks are still trying to prove their business models. Palantir? It's cash flow positive, with long-term contracts, real clients, and now, full US Army integration. That's rare. That's powerful. And that's why analysts, institutions, and even insiders are watching this moment like hawks. Because this could be the moment Palantir moves from a high-potential tech stock to a global AI infrastructure giant. If the next earnings report confirms this momentum, and if the full terms of this deal start getting reflected in revenue growth and margin expansion, we're looking at a company that's barely scratched the surface of its valuation. So don't be surprised if people start throwing out trillion-dollar price targets. Because for the first time, it's not just possible. It's starting to look inevitable. And here's the thing. It's becoming more likely by the minute. Because in less than 24 hours, Palantir is expected to announce something massive. The excitement isn't just because of the Pentagon deal. No, this is something even more immediate. Palantir is about to release its earnings report, and all eyes are locked in. Now let's rewind a bit. Just 3 months ago, Palantir delivered some of its strongest earnings yet. First quarter numbers came in hot. US sales were surging, commercial growth in the US was skyrocketing, and government contracts kept climbing. It was the kind of report that should have sent the stock flying, but instead, it tumbled. Palantir dropped hard the next day, almost as if the market couldn't quite digest what it had just seen. But that reaction? It wasn't about weakness, it was about timing. Because CEO Alex Karp wasn't just talking numbers, he was talking vision. He said we're in the middle of a massive shift in how software is adopted. Palantir isn't trying to be another tech company. They're building the foundation of how the modern world runs in the age of AI. And that changes everything. What makes this moment so powerful is that everything Karp said 3 months ago is now being backed up in real time. The Pentagon just gave Palantir one of the biggest military software contracts we've ever seen. That's not potential. That's execution. That's validation. And now, right as they're about to report again, the stock is climbing, momentum is building, and expectations are rising. Right now, people are wondering if Palantir's valuation is getting ahead of itself. But this is exactly where these kinds of moves begin, when the world is finally starting to wake up to what's really going on behind the scenes. And what's happening with Palantir isn't just hype. It's positioning. They're locking in long-term revenue, they're proving real growth, and they're showing Wall Street that this AI shift isn't a promise. It's already here. If earnings tomorrow show even a hint of acceleration, if there's any signal that these deals are translating into real results, that could be the moment. That could be when Palantir stops being seen as that cool AI stock and starts being taken seriously as a dominant force in global tech. This is how trillion-dollar companies are born. Not with one viral moment, but with consistent wins, real-world impact, and timing that sets everything in motion. And right now, Palantir's timing couldn't be better. Because this might just be the start of something we'll look back on and say, that was the moment it all changed. But what is your opinion on this? Comment down below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, then turn on the notifications bell on this channel. Missing an important Palantir update might make you lose money, so don't risk it. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.